Friedlinghouse, CEO of the world famous West Coast Customs, and this is my top 10 builds. When I say my top 10 builds, it's definitely hard for me to choose the top 10 builds. I mean, we've done so many builds. Builds are all over the world, belong to different people. I chose these 10 because there's special meaning to each one. The first one, my car. 2017 Rolls-Royce Ghost. And the story starts with, I never work on my own car. We never really get to do anything to my own car. It's time to do something. My detailer ripped the front bumper off, so it was like, let's put it in the shop, let's do it. We painted it a root beer candy. We did some satin accents to it, and of course, had to do the copper. We lowered it, 24-inch Lexani wheels, all the bells and whistles. This is what I should be driving every day, because it makes a statement. To the next one, it's a Mercedes-Benz S500 for a good friend, longtime customer, Shaquille O'Neal. He called me up and said, Ryan, I need you to make the first ever S Class that's convertible, but you need to suicide the rear doors. Can you make it? And I said, by now, Big, you know I can make this. He said, for how much? My dumbass said 60,000. 150,000 later, then he said, buy it back from me. So here it is. We'll go to the next one, VW Passat. Now this one is super special to me just because I'm a huge Star Wars fan. Everything I collect is Star Wars. So ILM, Lucasfilms, and VW called us and said, we need to make a Darth Vader car. So we made it. We started with the fascia to match his helmet, added some accents to it to match his outfit, added his lightsaber in the inside, and a ton of different other things that you gotta check it out. And to the next one, Dodge Charger. Definitely something that's special to me because it was a car that was given to me by Dodge in 2006. They said, do your West Coast Customs magic to it. Why it's the General Lee, I don't know. I think back then, Dukes of Hazzard, I mean, I was a kid, I grew up with Dukes of Hazzard, so of course, I gave it that theme. It was a 4-door Charger when it started. Now, it's a 2-door Charger. We cut the car in half, shortened it, extended the door, dropped the roof down, and added a couple body lines that you'll see in today's Challenger. So I think we made a statement with it. Next, 1950 Merc. Some call them lead sleds. Everybody's got their own name for them. When you look at these lead sleds out in the car shows, they have beautiful paint jobs. You never really know what's underneath that paint job. This car, you'll never have to ask that question because it's staying in all metal. This one is special because I've always wanted one since I was 12 years old. It was like, I gotta build it myself. So we started building it. We started with a Lincoln LS. We took the body off a Lincoln LS, put a 1950 Mercury on top of it, and then did all the modifications. From the grille, to the headlight, to the chop, to the Frenching, to the suicide doors. And there's a whole lot more to come, so stay tuned. On to the next one. A 1969 Camaro. True American muscle. For me personally, I just love the paint. I mean, this is one of those colors when we're talking about, hey, we gotta do a gunmetal gray. This is a true gunmetal gray that we made here at West Coast Customs. Custom interior, custom audio system, and everything in between. I mean, when it comes to a classic, everybody loves 69 Camaros, but the way we did this one, I think is right on point. But most of all, when you step on it, it goes. Up next, Bentley, Pink Bentley, for our good friend Paris Hilton. Now this one was done in 2005, so you kind of rewind a little bit back in history, and it was like nobody was painting their cars pink. She came to me, wanted a custom pink. We made it. This one has custom pink diamond paint job on it, pH crystals, custom interior, custom audio system. Back in 2005, I mean, we killed it. And now it's just one of those iconic cars that everybody knows. Up next, the first ever life-size Mario Kart, from a video game to reality. So we turned video game data into an actual real-life car that you can drive. It's electric. I mean, this is one of those builds that I think was a turning point in West Coast Customs history, from building mini trucks to building crazy cars to now building one-off video game actual vehicles. When we did the unveiling of this car, the creator of the video game was there, and I saw a tear come from his eye. So I think that was the official statement of West Coast Customs has made it. Up next, the world-famous wrench rod. Now, we built this on one of our episodes. There was a brand called Wrench that I was working on. I said, you know what? We need a vehicle that represents what this brand's all about. Now, Wrench is like the ultimate hot rod car lovers brand. It wasn't about West Coast Customs. It was just about cars and the love of cars and old hot rods. So we built this vehicle, and it's really the ultimate rat rod. A lot of history behind it, from teaching my wife how to weld on it, to Big Dane throwing his hands up and not wanting to be a part of this build, to driving it all the way to Orange County on barely any gas. So there's a lot of meaning and a lot of history behind this car. You gotta check out the episode. And then the final top 10 build, the Rocket. There's a lot of history with this car. Now, Will.i.am's a good friend of mine. We collaborate on tons of different builds, but this one I think is probably the most iconic build that we built together. It started as a Tesla Roadster. Me and Will came up with this crazy idea of building the first ever electric supercar that people would look at before they look at a Lamborghini. And we did. It's all carbon fiber, full custom glass. The interior we built from scratch. And now it represents West Coast Racers. That is the first ever West Coast Customs roller coaster at Six Flags. So I think this car is probably one of the ones that I look back at and say it really represents who we are and really what we can come up with. I mean, this was an idea, it turned into a rendering, then it turned into a real car, and now it's a roller coaster. So thanks for joining me on my top 10 journey through the history of West Coast Customs. I mean, it's really helped me reflect on where I've been, and it's crazy to think where I'm about to go. From a roller coaster, to video game cars, to pink cars, to the craziest one-of-ones. But there's a lot more to come. So stay tuned for the next top 10, because it's about to be a movie.